Well, hello, everybody. This is Mac here, and we're going to talk about two-step equations, version B. These are very similar to version A, except for we're going to solve using multiplication instead of division like we did in version A. If you need more help or you need to see more videos, you just stumbled across this, go to maxtutorials.com, and obviously liking and subscribing is a very wonderful thing. It helps me out, and I really appreciate it. It helps to keep this available for everybody. All right, so let's go here to number one. Let's really get up on this. Now, we talked about in version A, and if you haven't seen version A, please go look at that video, that we have terms here. We have a letter term, we have a number term, and we have a number term. Okay, a term is anything that's kind of separated by these pluses and minuses. Our goal is to get letters on one side and numbers on the other. Well, the best way to do that is I'm going to go minus 3, minus 3. These go away, they become 0, and I'm left with x over 4 equals 8. Okay, now we're down to just a one-step problem. The letter term is by itself. Whoops. And once that letter term is by itself, we just solve. If this is divide by 4, I multiply by 4. And remember, that's like going 4 over 1. I'm not going to write that for the other problems, but that's why you do it. And if I cross-cancel these out, I'm left with x equals 32. And there's my answer. All right, let's keep going through these. The first step is always letters on one side, numbers on the other. So do any adding and subtracting first. It's almost like backwards order of operations, right? Okay, we're going to multiply each side by -5. They die, and I'm left with y equals -40. Okay, let's go on to this one. Letters on one side, numbers on the other. So I'm going to add and subtract away so I can get that. And I'm going to get m over 6 equals, add a line, change a sign. That would be a -9. I'm going to multiply each side by 6. Boom, boom. M equals -54. All right, let's go on to number 4. I'm going to add 4 to both sides. Boom, die. And I get a over 9 equals -5. I'm going to multiply each side by 9. Boom, they go away. And now my a equals -45. All right, how we doing here? Let's go ahead and minus 10. Why? Because I want letters on one side, numbers on the other. They die. I get p over -3 equals, what's that going to be? Add a line, change the sign. Signs are different. Subtract, keep the sign of the bigger number. I've got a whole video on that if that's weird to you. So make sure you see that video on adding, subtracting negative numbers. That's in my first unit on the website. Okay? Make sure we feel really good about negative numbers. Now, I am assuming you guys know some things on this. Okay, so if you feel like you stumbled across this video and your negative numbers aren't quite right, your multiplication isn't all that great, go back to maxtutorials.com. I got some things that'll really help you out. And if you do the math kind of in order and you don't jump around and you get one skill before you start working on the next, you guys are going to do great in this. Nobody's bad at math. Literally, nobody is bad at math. Just some people learn things kind of out of sequence and they mix up when to do this and when to do that. And that's the whole goal of my little sequence, is to help you with that. And once you get that, I know you're going to be great at math. You might even shock yourself. Here we go. -8. I'm going to multiply each side by 5. Boom, boom. And I get b equals negative times a positive is a negative. There we go. Let's go on to number 8. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. That gives me my letters terms on one side. Gives me my numbers on the other. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. C equals, ooh, I didn't write a negative there. Ooh, see, look, I started to go quickly, and I almost made a disastrous mistake. Okay, well, it's only a negative sign. Is it that big of a deal? Of course it's a big deal. Think about this. If you're sending off a space shuttle or something, you're doing a trip to Mars, all of a sudden you miss a negative sign. Now you've just plummeted all those astronauts into the sun instead of to Mars because you missed a negative sign. So never make a small thing about a negative sign. Somebody's life could depend on it. Well, maybe it's not that big of a deal. But still, we want to get these right. Okay, let's keep going. I'm adding 5. Let's go ahead and subtract 5. Boom, die. That T, oh, I hate using T's. Take them away. They look like plus signs. But maybe that's just my bad penmanship. Oh, well, what are you going to do? Boom, boom. T equals negative times a negative is a positive, and I get a positive 30. All right, let's keep going strong here. Now, if I'm going too fast for you, you all know how to slow it down. So you can slow this down, pause, do whatever you need to do to help you to get this. Okay, and I'll explain during these. R equals 56. Let's go to this one. I want to get letters on one side and numbers on the other. Well, to do that, I've got to do adding and subtracting first to get everybody on the right side. We're just rearranging furniture. We're not really solving anything right now. We're just rearranging. Okay, so boom, I just moved all my letters on one side, numbers on the other. I'm going to multiply by 3, just as a reminder. That's like a 3 over 1. That's why they cancel out. Q equals negative 36. Boom, 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 boom. Let's keep going away. Negative 1, well, let's plus 1. That'll get rid of that. I'm going to just copy this down, and that equals 5 multiplied by negative 8 on both sides. I hope you guys are starting to see a pattern here. Now, this may seem monotonous. Oh my gosh, they're like the same problem over and over. But you know what? It's that practice that's going to lock it in. So keep doing the practice like this, as monotonous as it may feel. But what's going to be cool is when these problems get mixed up for you, you're going to feel really good about them because you've now had a process. You know, when you have those things where you're just trying to learn something in the book, and by problem 8, they start throwing in like fractions and decimals, and you're like, wait, I haven't even learned what I'm supposed to do yet. Now I've got to do it with all these fractions and decimals. Well, that's kind of what these sheets are for, is to kind of give you some easy ones, some very basic ones, and let you just lock in the how. And then when they get harder, you'll have that how down, and you'll know what to do. All right, we're going to keep going. Boom, boom, they die. H equals 70. All right, let's subtract 9 to both sides. Boom, die. F over negative 4 equals, and add a line, change a sign. That's going to be a negative 4. Multiply each by a negative 4. Boom, boom, and I get F equals positive 16, because negative times a negative is a positive. Let's go on to number 17. I'm going to add 7 to both sides. Boom, die. Z over 11 equals, well, signs are different. Subtract, keep the sign of the bigger number, which is positive. Boom, boom. Z equals 55. Boom, 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 boom. See, my 5s look like S's when I go quick, so that's why I also don't like S's. That could say 5S as far as I'm concerned. That's ugly. That's embarrassing. Okay, I'm on YouTube. I've got to be better than that. There we go. Yeah, a little better. Here we go. Let's subtract 4 to both sides. Boom, boom, die. G over 6 equals, add a line, change the sign, that becomes a negative 9. If I multiply each side by 6, die, I get G equals negative 54. Okay, 2 more here. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. Okay, remember I want to get letters on one side, numbers on the other. That's why I'm doing it. V over negative 9 equals a 9. Multiply each side by a negative 9. Boom, boom. V equals negative 81. And you'll notice, again, I know I say this all the time, but I'm going to keep saying it just in case you're skipping through this video. Have a process. If you notice, I'm following the same process each time I'm doing it. I'm not doing any shortcuts, add a line, change a sign. I even say that part of it. Okay, I'm going to multiply each side by 12, and then they die, and I get J equals negative 48. And if you go back and look at them, like on one sheet, they all look the same as far as where I draw the lines and crossing things out. So again, have a process, and that's going to really help you. Okay, I hope you feel good. Now we're going to mix them up a little bit in version C. So I hope to see you there. If you feel real comfortable, go on to the next chapter, and we'll see you there. Keep plugging away. Start learning math.